Yeah, she got it, 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 she got it. Energy.
Greeting, kings and queens. Welcome to Keeping It Real with Yogi. I'm your host, Yogi, and it's time to get real. So today I was thinking we would talk a little bit about mental health. Yep, I said it. That stigmatic word that we don't like to use, mental health, especially us people of color, we feel like that's a white man's disease. Well, guess what? It doesn't have a color. Mental health doesn't come in a color. If you have a brain, you have mental health issues. In our community, people of color, we really feel like that's stigmatic. Growing up, if you say anything about having any kind of mental issue, you were immediately beat down. We don't do that. We stronger than that. We don't do that. Well, guess what? You've been told wrong. Just like any other organ in your body, the brain is an organ. And just like your heart can have issues, and your stomach can have issues, and your liver can have issues, your brain can have issues. It can be hereditary, or it can be just life. If a person has high blood pressure or cancer or anything like that, you don't tell them that's a white man's disease. You take care of that problem that you have, and you can have issues with your mental health. And like I always like to do on my show, I don't mind sharing my life and my experiences with you. I was diagnosed with bipolar depression and post-traumatic stress syndrome. Yep, me. And guess what? I'm a woman of color. So I guess it's not a white disease. I didn't find out till later on in life that this is something that my mom and my grandma struggled with. They never told me. It wasn't until recently that I found out, because it's just that, not supposed to be talked about. It's hush hush. Now imagine if they had shared their stories with me earlier in life, I probably would have talked to someone a little earlier in life. I have talked to counselors, and for a while I was on medicine. I chose to leave medicine alone, but I do not recommend that anyone else takes my path. You have to figure out what best works for you. I'm just sharing my experiences. Being that I found out later that my grandma and my mom dealt with it, I can say that mine is a little hereditary, and it's also with the things that go on in life. If you smoke cigarettes, chances are you'll get lung cancer. Something that you're doing is going to affect that lung, that organ. So different things in life can affect your brain and how you deal with things and how you see things. So it's not that you're crazy. It's you have a mental health issue, and you know what? You can get help. You can talk to someone about it. There's all kind of things. Now, when I said that I used to take medicine, the reason why I got off of it is because they kept boosting up the dose. And anytime there was any kind of lapse in my coverage of healthcare and I couldn't take the medicine, it was like I couldn't function. My brain was just like all over the place. So I made a choice for me to try more of a Eastern medicine and start meditating and different things like that. And that was my choice. Like I said, I don't recommend that anyone else take my path. You got to figure out what's best for you. But the first thing you need to do is admit that there's something there. I didn't know what I was going through at first. Mine had been around for a long time. I remember even as a teenager, I would get really, really sad when it says you have manic depression. Like they said, I have bipolar depression. It means that at this moment I can be super happy. I'm like stoked. I'm like, yeah, let's do it, whatever it is, yeah. And then the next minute I can be super sad. Nothing has to happen. It's just now I have this overwhelming sorrow, like I just gotta cry or something. And then the next minute I can just be super angry. I don't even know what happened, and I was like that for a long time. I didn't even know there was anything wrong. It was life, and it wasn't until it got so bad that I started to act in these different swings that I feel like, hey, maybe there's a problem. Maybe I should talk to someone. And when I started telling people, well, I'm going to go talk to someone, I got that, girl, black people don't have them problems. Well, I had to leave that foolishness alone, because you can't tell me what, is best for me. I have to figure that out on my own. And guess what? Black people do have mental health issues. It doesn't mean you're crazy. Do you say someone that has cancer is crazy? They didn't ask for that. Same with any other thing. And so once I got fed up with having all these issues, I did talk to someone. And it was hard at first, because you learn in the black community, you don't tell your problems. You don't go talk to nobody and tell them your problems. What is that? Well, I tell you what, it doesn't make you weak to look out for yourself. One of the strongest decisions that you'll ever make is to look out for you. Because you're left in charge of looking out for you. No one else is left in charge of looking out for you, especially once you're an adult. So you have to make that decision and block out all that negative talk. You know what I'm saying? Especially since I've been off of medicine and learning, actually really talking to a counselor and stuff, I learned when I'm in those moments to tell myself, hey, this is not really what I'm feeling. You know what I'm saying? This is my disease. This is this issue, and I can kind of bring myself out of it. And for years, I was really suicidal and stuff. And so I tattooed this. I don't know if you can see it. It's my tattoo survival tattoo right here that I put on there. And I was so proud of myself, because I went like years without having any kind of suicidal thoughts. I was like, yes, I am over this. I have beat this thing. And so I got that tatted on me. And not too long ago, I started battling that again. Yes, I did. Happens. Doesn't mean I still don't have the victory over it, because I realize what it is. And I have talked to someone, you know what I'm saying? But keeping it real, like I said, we will do on our show, I have recently revisited these types of feelings. And so that's what made me kind of want to do this show, because maybe you or someone out there has mental health issues, doesn't mean anything is wrong. What's wrong is if you have them and you don't talk to someone, or you don't seek help, or you don't do something proactive. Don't just sit in it. Don't just sit in it, because you don't have to. You can be happy. You can, just like they have different things that help any kind of other sickness, they have help. And if you're not really into medicine, like I'm really not into medicine, the greatest thing you could do is find someone that you can talk to. And if you're not really into counselors, hey, that happens too. Find your really good friend or really good family member, someone that's not going to judge you. That's the main thing. To never tell your stuff to someone that's going to judge you or even give you bad advice. It's better for a person to tell you, I just don't know, than to give you bad advice. But get you someone in your corner that you feel you can talk to, and talk to someone. There's no better you than a healthy you. And that's from head to toe. There's no one organ that's more important to take care of than the other. Brain is an organ, people. So you got to take care of that. You got to, knowledge is power. Do a little research. Find out. Ask your family members, hey, have you ever felt this type of way or this type of way? Because believe it or not, it is hereditary, just like high blood pressure or anything else. But we don't talk about it in our community. We don't talk about it. So I tell my kids all the time, I'm very open with them. I tell them the type of problems that I have experienced, so they won't feel like they're, something different than what they really are, So anyway, that is my show today. I was just hoping that I can help someone, and I hope I did that for you, And if you like this show, if it's been helpful to you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And I will see you guys again next week. And once again, I love you guys. Take care of yourself.
Yeah, she got it. 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 She got it.